No.
What's up, War Report family? We are back. ADay is in the books.
Yeah.
And this is about you guys. Listen, we're fanning out today, hanging out with you guys, getting your instant reaction. We just want to hear from you guys today. We see you already in the. We see some of y'all already in the chat giving your opinions. People were happy to see some of this. Auburn Dad for Life tight end pass over the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. That's something different.
That's a factual statement.
So,
yeah, man. So listen, we just want to get reactions from you guys today. We got some people in the comments here. Who we got popping up in here? See,
of course, like Phil Petway. He's already poking at the bear.
Spicy Penguin out here with some truth. Thank you, Sir Spicy, Mr. Penguin.
Yeah, man. I thought it was cool seeing the tight end sets for real. Like 2 tight ends out there. Like that was cool to see for sure. Also the bunch sets, that was pretty cool to see. You know, so those are some things that we definitely saw.
Yo, we
I cannot wait until tomorrow. Listen, I can't wait until tomorrow.
Mike's has blood in his mouth from biting his tongue.
Tomorrow's show is going to be so great because y'all are going to get an opportunity to hear Mike really. We purposefully asked Mike to reserve some of his commentary for today's game for tomorrow. So I'm going to be very interested to see that because we'll have had the opportunity to rewatch the game by then.
Yep.
And we'll have some more in-depth takes. But still, so can I guess can we just go around the room and say not necessarily a overall performance, but just if you put it on a grade ranking from A to F of like what you felt about the game in general. Can we do that real quick?
We can do that.
All right, not necessarily about a person's performance, just the quality of what you just saw as far as an ADay game and its entertainment value. Can we do that? Is everybody cool with that?
Yeah.
Mike doesn't want to. You don't want to, Mike?
No, y'all have at it. Y'all have at it. I'm here. I'm a fan with everybody else on this.
Well, fans are in the comments. The fans are in the comments doing it too.
How you feel, fan?
Hey, that's cool. I'm with them. I'm just here. I'm here to listen. I want to be a good listener today.
I do.
Mike isn't on the stream today. He's just here as a third floating head.
Okay. I was gonna go. I mean, listen. I see Quentin Lee. Shout out Quentin Lee. That's my grade. That was pretty much my grade. That's what I was thinking. C.
Okay. You got any thoughts?
Let's stay away from performance. I want to grade.
Yeah, just the quality of
experience.
Yeah, the whole ADay experience. How did you feel as someone watching it on television? What did you feel about it?
I felt that we have been without football since January. Our last game was a terrible game for us. Really, the 2 games before that were terrible games for us because we looked mediocre against Mississippi State and we lost to A&M. We had this change. We've been hearing about coaches and development and strength and training, strength development,
strength and conditioning. Cheers.
First off, the decision to make it short quarters. Why? Like we have been without this thing for so long. Let us actually see it.
And he's gone.
He didn't even turn the camera off. He's just like, I'm out. I'm out.
So you know what I'm saying? Give us some full-length quarters, man. Give us some full-length quarters. Don't run the clock in the second half with 8-minute quarters. Wait, are you just trying to get out of here?
Yeah.
Like we needed this, man. We wanted to see people get a real shot. If you've got quarters that short, I expected that they would split it up much more evenly. Hey, Bo for a first half on one team, fine. Trey Grant Loy for the first quarter on the second team. Each one of the other quarterbacks gets a quarter on the second team. That makes sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
Bo for an entire first half on the first team, Lloyd for the entire first half on the second team, that doesn't make sense to me. Bo coming out at all in the second half, that doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
You basically relegated 3 other quarterbacks to about 1 drive. That's it. That's all they get. That's all we get to see of them. That's all they get to show what they can do on the field. And we know this wasn't real game action.
Yeah.
But still, I wanted to see just more. Forget who I wanted to see and how I wanted to see them play.
Right.
I wanted to see more of everything. And if you're not going to give us a fair amount, a standard length game, then why are you running the clock? Why would you run the clock?
What's your grade? What's your grade?
I'm sorry. That's a D for me. That's a D for me. And we can get into some of the specifics tomorrow about what we saw on the field, why that adds to the grade. But the overall experience, I say D.
Yeah, I'm going C- for my grade. So there's a couple of things I didn't like just in the way that this was produced by ESPN, right? So like, again, I'm not even going to talk about performance on the field, but the way it was produced by ESPN, number one, they didn't have anybody who was a designated play-by-play person, right? So like for the vast majority of the game, you've got people out on the field with no numbers, and you don't, unless you have the roster in front of you and you're searching through every play to be like, okay, who's that person? Who's that person? You have no idea what's happening because the announcers aren't telling you. So they're like pitching up, they're calling the wrong names. It's like, oh, that was, oh, wait a minute, that doesn't even, like they're over there talking about what we looked like last year and doing all this coverage over, you know, who the previous freaking coaches were and all this. I'm like, we're watching again. Like, give me something about the game that's happening right now. There was absolutely nothing on that. They didn't have what seemed to be replay angles that they were ready to queue up during the game when something happened so you could see stuff from different angles. So it made it very limited in your ability to actually take a look at what's going on. I just didn't think it was produced particularly well by ESPN Plus. Right. Outside of that, the game format, it went by really quickly. I'm not going to get into the kickoff scenario. We'll talk about that tomorrow. But yeah, it's C- for me, and that's really, I'm being generous, honestly. Like, the entertainment value of this game was very anticlimactic for me. Right. Like, I expected to see something that was going to get me excited about Auburn football. I did not get that today. So, Mike, you still not going to give your grade?
I'd rather not give a letter grade. I'd rather just react.
Okay, go ahead. Go for it. Floor is yours, Mike.
What the hell did we just watch? What was that?
I don't know.
I'm struggling here. I really am. I'm going to just ditto B's point about Loy. I had a moment because we were on this stream together during this. I had a moment. I'm trying to behave.
That I'm not sure that we could live stream during games.
That was a good idea before the spring game. That was a great idea, but I don't know long term if that's a good idea for our channel.
So like I just
if y'all could have been here. I almost look. Y'all almost lost me. Y'all almost lost me as a panelist during we were on the stream together watching it. And something happened, and it was I was like drinking water in the middle. I almost choked on I was almost gone. I was almost out of here. All right. It was so funny.
I just want to say the amount of time that Lloyd got for what we saw, boggles me. That boggles my mind. And I'm so like, if y'all don't mind, right? Everybody knows.
Kenneth's reaction up here because this is interesting that you feel like that's what this is.
So soon, right?
I mean,
way too premature.
Okay,
it's pretty premature. But look, I just want to say, first of all, if you watch us and you see me on All About Auburn, you guys know I'm about statistics, hard facts, all this stuff. Today, well, all that. I'm just a fan today. I'm And as a fan, I'm in shock. Right? Like, what was the plan today?
Right.
Like, I get the vanilla offense, and I'm holding out hope. Like, I'm not down. Like, listen, I have by no means lost hope for the future. So that's not where I'm at. But just as a fan, I felt very frustrated by the format of this, right? I'm gonna save a lot of my commentary on play until I've had a chance to go back and rewatch the film.
Yeah.
We have the film.
Right.
I had it right here.
Right.
I got every second of that right here, ready to rewatch and analyze. Right. But just the eye test just blew my mind. So, I mean, I'm giving this a flat F for a spring game. I mean, change of regime. That looked not much better than a glorified practice. I wouldn't even know if I would qualify as a spring game.
Yeah, it did. It didn't.
No,
I
not really.
This might as well have been another one of those scrimmages.
Yeah, Tank and Shivers returning kickoffs, and like, is that something we're gonna do during the season? Because if it's not, why are we doing it? Why are we watching it in the spring?
Listen, I'd be surprised if we see that, because it was I don't even know what was the point of it. Was just to kick the ball, really. Right? After he kicked the ball, everything else mattered none. They put on orange jersey. Everyone who was kicking off put on orange jerseys.
Yeah.
Am I losing my mind, or was Lloyd hurt most of the spring and then went out there and took most of the second team reps?
Yeah, no, you're 100%.
You're right.
He was injured early in the spring, and I don't understand that.
Right. So in my head, I'm thinking, is everybody else that bad? Or, like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just trying to rationalize that in my head. Like, why did we see so much of Grant Lloyd? Now, listen, we did a facts and now where we talked about who the QB2 was. I made my feelings clear about Lloyd. All that was confirmed today. It was all confirmed. He looked accurate. He didn't look he barely looked like a quarterback.
Yeah.
The only thing that made him look like a quarterback today was his orange no contact jersey. So I hope we put to bed that that's going to be our QB number 2, because if he is, we're right back where we have been the last few years.
Well,
Bo goes down and the season is done. And Tank is carrying the ball 30 times a game, which I also didn't want to see. So, I don't know. Listen, the defense looked about as expected. They flew around the ball. They made plays. They essentially just emulated what we've been hearing they've been doing in practice.
Right.
Listen, man, they got the Tank. Everybody saw it. They got the Tank, and they forced the fumble, and they recovered the fumble. I was encouraged to see that. I was. Then Tank came back and did his thing and then broke it for a touchdown. And I was like, all right, this is a good, even, what I saw today is we're going to be all right on the run game. I think we're going to be all right. Run blocking and pass blocking are two totally different things. I thought that the O-line made marginal improvements. I was excited just like everybody else to see the tight ends catching passes early in the spring game. That was encouraging. But overall, maybe by design, maybe this is the grand plan, is for me to feel this way after a spring. I just thought we would see a little bit more.
Yeah, it was anticlimactic for sure.
Yeah, the receivers looked a mess.
Yeah, that was rough.
It was rough to watch.
That was rough.
The only bright spot that I saw was, listen, man, Demetrius Davis dropped a dime in and a beautiful downfield pass.
Yeah,
they put the stat up 36% down the field,
which is we'll talk about it.
Right, we'll talk about it later. I don't want to get into it, but 36% down the field. They put that up during the broadcast.
I was not in here during the stream, but I knew when that went up on screen, Mike probably got a screenshot of that so he could post it somewhere else.
Yeah, I mean, and we saw more of the same. That stat held true during the spring game. But just, I just think there's a lot of, here's what I saw. Let me just be fair. There's still a lot of work to do between now and August.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. That's what I saw. There's a lot of work to do between now and August. So I was hoping to see more of what we had on the 2 deep. Right. And, I don't think the plan today was very fair to anybody who was trying to earn a job. Yeah. Right. I mean, and this is just and guys. Once I've gone back, I want to stress. Once I've gotten a chance to go back and watch the tape, I'm sure I'll have some other thoughts. But this is just my initial. I'm a fan, just like you guys. It's just my initial fan reaction to what I just saw.
Right.
Sometimes the tape tells a different story on replay, but like, wow. Right?
Yeah,
like
no, there was nothing like I don't. There's people in the comments, and we're going to go to the comments here in just a moment.
Yeah.
People in the comments talking about, this person looked impressive, this person looked impressive. There was nothing to show on this, and I'm hoping a deeper analysis of film allows me to see more. Mm-hmm. But there was nothing that I saw today. The only thing I will take away from today is there were tight ends who caught passes today and had targets, right? And so I was like, okay, the tight ends may actually make an appearance this year.
Right.
Everything outside of that, there's a lot more that I have to say that frustrated me about this game. But just overall, it was over too quickly. And they're just, I agree with Mike G about the structure of how people were, especially on the quarterback rotation. I thought that was awful. I don't know how Shea Garnett actually decides he's going to stay at Auburn after today.
Hey, what did I say? What have I said the last few broadcasts? I said I don't think that we have much of a quarterback competition going on.
No, those not based off of what we saw today.
I've been saying that for the last few weeks. Like, hey man, after the interviews we did and some of the things that I'm seeing and hearing coming out of practice, it doesn't sound to me like there's much of a quarterback competition going on. I mean, hey, listen. And did anybody else see that in the comments? Did anybody else see a quarterback competition today?
Well, let's go to the comments, Caesar. What do we have from the people?
I didn't see it.
No, we didn't see it, Mike. Shout out Rob Taylor. I did see a little bit of 3-4, but for the most part. But for the most part, because of the offensive sets that they were running, we did see a lot of 4-2-5, or what they like to call the 2-4-5, because you only have 2 down linemen. Mm-hmm. The other guys are standing up on the end. But yes, 4-2-5 because of what we were doing on offense.
Right.
Shout out to Corey Weber, Landon King, the new stone hands. Mm-hmm. Shedrick is still on.
Fromm looked good.
Fromm looked good.
So I'll say this: we heard a lot of talk about a lot of people in the offseason. Fromm looks the part of he does tight end who can play on Sundays.
You know what?
If you're talking about prototypical looking tight end, that guy looks the part. He looks every bit of what you would expect an NFL tight end to look like.
Here's what I saw. Right, I saw a little bit about why they decided to move Pegues to D-line today. I think that seeing what I saw from the tight ends today clarified that a little bit for me. I thought they felt good about the tight ends in the tight end room, and they clearly are at least in the makings of putting together a plan to utilize those guys.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and we've got some talent there. So I mean, again, instant reaction from a fan. It just looked like, all right, that just wasn't lip service. There's an emphasis on tight ends. So, yeah, I mean. It's hard to say what we got from anybody. Like I saw what I needed to see. Like, listen, man, Tank is still the number one. Shivers definitely is strong.
Yeah.
He's going to be a load for people to tackle this fall. That's what I saw.
Runs with intent.
Mm-hmm. And it looks like the emphasis is on those two as far as running back is concerned. I mean, the way this was structured, right? Only a few people got a chance to run with the one offense.
Right.
Yeah, so we saw as far as wide receivers, we saw a lot of Elijah Canyon.
Right.
We saw a lot of Kobe Hudson out there, and then as far as the slot, it was Javaris Johnson out there running in the slot a lot.
Yeah. I mean, where was Malcolm Johnson playing? He had a few balls thrown at him today, but like
he didn't get very much burn. Yeah.
I mean, they threw him a bomb downfield, but I mean, all the balls were underthrown. I mean, he didn't really have a serious chance at it. So, like, I mean, I see we look physically healthy. Like, I mean, it looks like
a lot of guys out. There were some guys out that I noticed.
No, what I mean is Diesel. We look Diesel out there. Guys look shredded and strong and ready to go to me. And they still got a whole summer of strength and conditioning left. So I expect that to improve some more. gonna fall, right? Lee Hunter making the play was exciting. It was exciting to see some freshmen out there kind of flying around. Like, you know, Dreamweaver said that, you know, he feels good about Lee Hunter. Wardan ATL receivers need a lot of work. Agreed. I think the passing game just needs work.
Well, you know, again, this is, you know, shout out to Maurice Knowles. To our wide receivers' credit, hardly none of the throws hit them in stride. Like, some of them weren't even catchable. Like the defense, like the defenders were being thrown back into the play in many regards. So kind of hard to make a play.
And that's something that, and we've talked about this before. This isn't treading new ground. That's one of the things, even if you're going to be the exact same system, and, you know, God forbid, we know we're on a new system, but even in the old system, you do a couple things better, we get a better result in many games. Can you hit somebody on the side that they are going to, and not the side that the defender is coming from? That's simple. That's easy. That we thought and still think we have the coaches to recognize that, to make sure that the players recognize that. I didn't see anything that looked like recognition or a change in that behavior in this game. And like, all right, well, so we can slow down on this hype train. All this change.
So this is what I will say is the hype that you heard me talk about, like they are selling me hype. Today was 100% a Gatorade bath on that.
I went back to the store with my receipt and I was like, hey man, you gotta take this back. No. I sold some back.
This was not but again, I recognize it's an ADay game,
right?
But at the same time, it feels like because there's so much change that's happening, the guys do not have their legs under them as far as what they want to do and where they want to go. It just feels like people running around, flying around, and you know, it's good energy, but there's very little crisp nature in the execution.
No fluidity to the game, to the offense, to any of it. People were out there. You saw the effort. But there was we look discombobulated. And
So we talked about it pregame, right? I thought that we got some answers about the pecking order at quarterback, right? They went out essentially in the same pecking order that Harsin kind of hinted at a few weeks ago when he coined that pecking order, right?
Yeah.
Bo, Loy, Davis, right?
Bo, Loy, Lindsey, Davis. Which is not insignificant because
Trey Lindsey go out there before Davis.
Or Sawyer Pate was out there.
Was that Pate? Somebody went out after Bo.
Comments. He'll hook me up. I could have swore we didn't see anybody not named Loy until third quarter, and it was Davis, and then somebody else came in,
and then after that, Lindsey came out.
Lindsey came in.
Yeah, and then Garnett in the last 45 seconds. That was so disrespectful. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
so our facts or no? Remember, we had that facts or no. The question was, does anybody transfer before the fall? And everybody said no, except for me. And I said it would be Shea Garnett.
You did.
Well, no one wouldn't. And again, no one foresaw them doing this in the spring game.
I really think this says that, again, if we're to believe what we saw, right, Garnett and Lindsey are buried on this depth chart.
Yes.
Right, they're buried if we're to believe what we saw, and the only thing that would change that is that Lloyd played himself out of consideration, so everybody moves up one. But I'm not sure what the coaches are making of that. I was a little disappointed in Davis's first drive. You guys heard me probably screaming like, "Don't call stupid zone reads for him 3 plays in a row." Right. The play calling didn't really give us a chance to see his arm, and I was crying foul on that one. And then he got a chance, and I was glad he got a chance to throw a beautiful deep ball.
Yeah,
he's accurate.
Almost threw a pick. So
yeah. I mean, he's accurate, but like again, how much do I attribute that to? Again, you know, you're putting him out there with the scrubs on offense. Like I mean, it just seemed like everybody past Loy and Bo were an afterthought in this game.
Right.
So, you know, I couldn't really judge any of them. Garnett, Lindsey. I mean, it just seems like those guys played themselves out of consideration before this. So I don't know what to make of it.
I will say this firmly. If at any point in time, let's just say game 1, Akron, right? We're up by 30 going into the third quarter, right? If Grant Lloyd trots his happy tail out from the sideline as the quarterback, I'm gonna be upset because nothing I saw from him in this game today.
He has no business playing.
Start
Makes me
developing for the
believe
future.
he deserves to be I don't care what the rest of those guys like. You can't tell me they're worse than what Grant Lloyd showed today. Yeah. You can't. You will have to pay me to believe that the other 3 to 4 guys they have that have a quarterback designation on this team cannot play better than what Grant Lloyd showed today.
Trey looks better. Like Trey Lindsey looks better than Grant.
Yeah, he looked better.
Grant Lloyd looked awful. If anybody in the comments believes Grant Lloyd was not awful, then please give me whatever your thesis is as to why Grant Lloyd deserves to have a scholarship designation as a quarterback for any Division I school in the nation right now. It was terrible.
No, it was bad. It was bad.
It was rough.
Got a question for y'all, and this comes from Ed Darby. Do you believe a lot of what you saw had to do with ESPN Plus?
No, what do I have to gauge that by?
ESPN Plus. Well, you know what? The only reason I don't think so is because ESPN Plus is on demand. You see your program, you press play on it. So there are no time constraints. There's nothing. So if we weren't playing, there's not another program that is filled in that slot. You just don't have an Auburn ADay game to click on your app. I have no idea why ESPN Plus would have this rushed to this extent. And I may be missing something. Maybe there's somebody in programming who can help us understand that. But I don't think the length of the game was was correlated to the fact that we're on ESPN Plus, because we were also on the Watch ESPN app.
Right.
That we weren't just in one place. We weren't on any television that has a channel. Right. So there should be no reason that we would have had to condense our game to fit that program.
Right. So we're kind of at the halfway point here. I just wanted I'm in kind of a melancholy mood after that.
Tomorrow we're going to be back tomorrow at our normal Sunday slot, and we'll have a full kind of thought out, less word vomiting reaction to this stuff. But today we are just, like Mike said, we're fans like you are. We're just reacting. I don't really have much to give you as far as a breakdown. I'll look into it later.
I'm gonna pay some bills here. Listen, weekend tailgate is coming at you guys tomorrow at 2:00, right? Where we are going to watch the film and then come back with some analysis. And there will be an ADay film review. So stay tuned for that. If you want to see that ADay film review, become an insider. $5.99 a month will get you there. Our community has grown by leaps and bounds over the last couple of months. We appreciate each and every one of you hanging out with us here. I know there's a ton of places that you can go to watch live right now. I believe JG Tate is live right now. There's some other people live right now, but we appreciate our community joining us. Our GoFundMe is live. If you want to support the work that we're doing, the merch store is up. Get your weight up gear. It is hot off the presses, and then chop it up with the pro with Chris Todd is coming this Thursday. That is exclusive to insiders. We will be breaking down quarterback play, and after what we just saw, we might have to add some things to that segment. So,
got a comment here. Ken was saying, "Hey, while we being hard on Lloyd, the coaches put him out there. Two things can be true. Two things can be true.
The coaches put him out there.
Lloyd is bad. Lloyd is making that decision to look bad. Okay, and yes, they could have put someone else out there.
I don't know that I fully even understand this comment, Kenneth. Maybe you can elaborate on what you mean. The coaches made the decision to put him out there, so he's supposed to play bad, and we're not supposed to react to that. I don't.
Listen, I'm reacting to the decision to put him out there. Period. I mean, that's what it is. I just don't understand.
He was hurt most of his play and the decision to play him that many.
Two things can be true.
Yeah,
it's not like again. We can only judge what we saw on the field.
Correct.
Right.
And that was Lloyd.
Yeah, he looked like a guy who missed most of spring practice.
He looked like a guy who missed football his life.
Yeah,
he missed the spring. He just got introduced to football.
Listen, I didn't like what I saw last year from Lloyd in limited backup duty. And I said as much many times. I went and watched his highlight tape, and I was like, okay, he stands tall in the pocket. He's got a couple of wheels. But it today reinforced what I thought. Grant Loy is not a good quarterback. He is the middiest of mid.
You know what I thought I was going to see? I thought what I was going to see was Bo take most of the snaps with the first team, 50 to 60%, and then a healthy rotation after Bo to see who was at that number 2 spot.
Right. I did too.
Right? Like I thought we would have seen more of a rotation of the quarterbacks after Bo. And we just didn't see it. I mean, that was just really disappointing. I wanted to see as much of Bo as I saw because I believe that he's going to start. So I want to see as much of that as possible so we can get a gauge about where he's at. Right. And
it was the remaining quarterbacks rotation that was frustrating.
Yeah, right. The rest of the quarterback rotation was just very frustrating to watch. Like I don't understand the plan there. I don't understand what the plan was. And I did look at his Bowling Green tape. I don't understand
I was going to put that up there.
What does that have to do with how he played today? You're watching a highlight film of someone and telling me he looked good in his highlights. Right. Yeah, that's the point of the highlight film.
Yeah, I don't know.
His Bowling Green statistics.
Yeah, he was Bo Nix.
No, he was worse than Bo Nix.
Oh, okay, there you go.
Yeah, in his statistics in a worse conference. His highlights are designed to make him look good. You can't feed me highlights and tell me somebody looks good in their highlights. Yes.
Yeah, they got some explaining to do.
Shout out to All About Auburn. They disrespected Shea. Maybe he isn't gripping some of the plays or something.
He was awful even in his highlight. Okay, I got you. His Bowling Green tape made him look bad. Got you. So we're on the same page now, Kenneth. Yes, Grant Loy's trash.
He's been awful. Fair.
Yes.
Fair.
We're agreeing.
I agree. Yeah, they did disrespect Shea Garnett today. I just thought we were going to see more. I just thought we were going to see more.
I think you're right on that. Like I don't. If that's any indication of what the pecking order is going to be, I don't see Shea even getting to the season.
Right.
There's absolutely no reason. If I were Shea Garnett, there's no reason. I don't see a future for myself at Auburn absent of people getting hurt.
Right.
Yeah. I just don't. I was just hoping to learn something today.
Yeah.
Right. Which I did. I did learn something today. I just didn't learn what I thought I was going to learn today.
Yeah.
Listen, man. Run blocking looks better. It looks improved. Run blocking looks improved. Tank's going to be a monster. Shivers has definitely upped his game. You know, I think there were some obvious truths about this ADay game right now, and I expected it to be a little vanilla because I know nobody wants to show a ton, right?
Right.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting anything like. So the trick play that they ran in the red zone, you know, the kind of Philly special style, hand it off to the back, and then they ran the reverse and tried to throw it back to Bo. You know, that was cute. Okay, cool. Like, you know, but I wasn't mad at that. It's a game, you know, like I wasn't mad at that. But what I hoped I was going to be able to see again was just better execution of different I'm holding back some things that I saw very definitively about kind of some of the formations and styles of play and all that stuff, because I want you guys to come back tomorrow when I've had an opportunity to look at the film a little bit more. But yeah, but again, my excitement is dead right now. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I ain't gonna hold you. I am not excited about the product I saw on the field in the ADay game today.
Yeah. I mean, listen, again, today I'm a fan. And I got us up in front of here. Like I'm reading our comments. I'm on the brain drain. I'm reading JG's comments. I'm just trying to, I think it blows my mind how we can all watch the same thing, but then see something completely different.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we know how that happens because they saw what they wanted to see. And we wanted to see it too, but we've got to be honest
as possible
about what we were seeing. I mean, I'm like you, Mike. I was on Twitter and I saw, I think it was Justin Ferguson. He he took a screenshot of a bunch of comments saying, "This is it. This is the chance for Bo. This is the turnaround for Bo." Oh, that's interesting. What game were they watching? What did they? And again, I'm sorry, I don't want to get too far into it. I just didn't see the things that the fans seem to be seeing. I don't. But let me turn that around. spring games should not tell us what we're going to see in the fall. We could see what we wanted to see was progress and indications of this staff taking over and turning the ship the direction they wanted it to go. I didn't see enough of that. I didn't see enough differences, honestly. We were talking about on, I think it was last Sunday. Spring training has been 3 weeks at that point. 4 weeks now. 4 weeks. There you go. I don't think Bo was going to be a different quarterback in 4 weeks. I don't think anybody was going to be completely different. We had a lot of excitement, but we didn't have reason to believe that anybody had changed the player they had been for years in 4 weeks. But we wanted to see some signs, like show me an inkling of something. And we didn't see that.
Yeah. I see some comments here about, Auburn's going to go 6-6, 3-9. I'm not ready to go there yet.
Yeah.
I'm also not. Somebody said something about how poorly Cam Newton played in the ADay game. I don't really know what that's being compared to here, or what Cam Newton's play in the ADay game has to do with, because the only quarterback I've talked about looking terrible was Grant Lloyd. So we're definitely not comparing Grant Lloyd to Cam Newton.
I think they're saying that if the QB doesn't have a particularly inspiring performance, no matter who he is, it doesn't mean that the season.
Okay, but still, we're talking about Cam Newton.
Yeah, that's you can't point to an outlier as the rule, like
that runs a sub 4.5, right? Like,
yeah.
Or so assuming sub 4.6 or whatever, like where he was in that rank. Like, you're talking about a freight train at quarterback in comparison to Grant Lloyd.
So you telling me Grant Lloyd isn't Cam Newton?
Last I checked, Again, we have tape on Grant Lloyd to show what he looks like in a regular game too. So his ADay performance aside, he's a very mediocre quarterback. So please, don't feed me Grant Lloyd here.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. Man.
Listen, and to me, it's almost again. You said it. I think you said it earlier this week, Ike. I mean, some of the things that alarmed you was the head coach's comments about stopping, to get from making the same mistakes and starting to make new ones, right? Like that should have tripped my mind to say, okay, maybe I should temper my expectations for what I'm going to see if they're still learning and making some of the same mistakes that they've been making when spring started, right? So. Yeah, I just think that this offense, and someone said it in the comments, is that, listen, the offense is going to be a work in progress.
Right. If you watch this and you're still on the 9 to 10 win train, I don't know what to say.
Hey man, listen. So I mean, I was watching the game. I'm watching the game, right?
Explain yourself.
So about those 9 wins, I don't know. All right. But again, I'm going to reserve judgment because I don't think they were trying to show Bo. Let's call plays so Bo can look really good and show what we've got. I don't think they were doing that. Wide receiver core, a few weeks into spring camp, and we've got enough work all around where 9 wins looks ridiculous. But that's what makes me really like the idea of it, is because nobody will want to give us. We won't be expected to win 9 games. And I think counting us out with the talent that we have, I didn't see many things that you can nitpick on defense.
Yeah.
Not too much. So if the defense plays up, we are very much talking about what the offense was or wasn't. And what we don't have to worry about still is the run game and the defense. To me, those are wins. That's a win to be able to say, okay, they look fine.
It's hard for me to say the defense looks good against an offense that looked at inept.
Right.
That's true.
Like they need some competition.
I don't know how good our defense actually is, or if our offense is just that bad.
But we have recent history that says our defense is good, has been good, has the players to be good.
So
but to Ike's point,
the secondary. Right. I just don't know how our front seven is going to perform. Go ahead.
To Ike's point, if we need a good defense to challenge the offense, we also at the same time need the offense to at least some point push the defense so that they can at least see what a competent offense looks like.
That's true.
Before they get to Saturday.
Right. Yeah. And so the point that Peyton just made, they're installing new everything. So this is why I feel like it looks as sloppy as it is, right? Because everything is new. You're seeing, snaps from under center. You're seeing different types of formations. We saw a lot of heavy packages out there with 2 tight ends. Again, I'm going to get into a lot of this stuff tomorrow about what we saw, and I really want to kind of do a breakdown that's more thought out. Today, right now, it's just reactions, but I can say that what it says to me is that we definitely still have a long way to go.
Right.
Listen.
Despite what you saw that you might have thought was positive, right? Like that's not 9 to 10 wins. That might not even be 8 wins, based on what we saw. So like Auburn Dad for life. He was just a little bit more optimistic about what he was watching than I was, right? And so that's why we're waiting to bring the actual analysis, because I just want to speak from a factual place after we've watched the film in replay, slowed it down. And then come back at you guys with some, actual, analysis on what happened and not what I feel like happened.
Right.
So, again, as a fan, remember, I'm telling you, I'm always blown away by how we all see something different, even though we're watching the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But man, when you slow that tape down and you replay it and you go over it with pros, it just doesn't lie at all. Right. So, I mean, we keep pros on standby here at the War Report. So just in case you didn't know, Chop It Up with a Pro is this Thursday with Chris Todd. I might call Chris right after we get off this live and say, Chris, man, let's talk about some stuff, because I have some things on my heart. And I just need to get it off my chest and talk to you about it, man. Just make me feel better about this, right? So Chris will be joining us on
Chris's Confessional will be the new segment coming to the War Report.
Yeah. Chris's Confessions, right? We will he'll be joining us Thursday to chop up QB play with Ike. You just definitely don't want to miss this. That's going to be exclusive only to insiders. So if you are insider, this is your time. These Thursday nights, these every other Thursday nights with former players to talk about football and life and everything. So join us, become an insider. $5.99 will get you there. Tomorrow, regularly scheduled weekend tailgate at 2 p.m. Eastern. You don't want to miss it. We're going to watch this film and come back and talk more about this. So I appreciate how active the comments are right now. I'm enjoying this. This is why I like being a fan today. Just like
Auburn, listen, people like Auburn Dad for life. Listen, I've never met you, but I'm pretty confident you are a great man. And if you are positive and feeling good, you deserve to have a good Saturday. All right.
Yeah. Listen,
you can feel that way.
Don't let me be the person.
I don't want to bring you down. Don't let us bring you down. Don't just listen. Those who you saw what you saw, let it be that. We'll talk tomorrow.
This is just our opinion, right? Like I don't
saw what you saw.
Anybody else's opinion of what you saw. Hey, listen, I actually hope I'm wrong.
Right. Well, listen, when we watch the film, I may feel more like Auburn Dad for life feels, right? When we watch the film, I don't know. That's why we go back and watch it, right? So we tell you guys. I'm
laughing at Jonathan Harris.
We tell you guys what we say, right? Because we're like, we tell everybody watch the film. WTF. Ike says it all the time. Stop thinking with your feelings and watch the film. And this is no different. So ADay is one of those things, right? It is one of those deals where we just don't know what we saw, right? Like until it's explained to us, and the coaches, what they're playing. It was, I would just say, the way it was disappointing was it was hard to see their vision as a fan watching this. And usually you want to come out of watching a spring game with a little bit more clarity, right? And here's my thing. What did we learn that we didn't already know from the spring game? Except for, we knew that there was a plan to use tight ends more. We learned that.
Sure.
Right?
The depth chart. That's what we learned.
Right.
That was bad news. We did learn that.
We knew that the run game was going to be important and that Tank was solid, still holds true. But beyond that, we didn't learn much more in my eyes. Right. Giving it the eye test, and I don't feel like we learned much more about what's going to happen in the fall. Receivers still has a lot of work to go, and I'm not necessarily putting that on the receivers. it just seemed like the play calling and some of the things, I mean, it just all looked very disjointed, right? I wanted to see more of these guys running around. I wanted to see Malcolm Johnson catching, more ball. He got some targets today, but the offensive game plan, like for the tight ends, was better than the one for the wide receivers.
Yeah.
Just when I'm, again, my instant reaction to it was it looked like they had a better plan for the tight ends than they had for the wide receivers, right? Because nobody looked great today. Bo went 12 for 20. That's 60%. That's about where he's at, right? He's been at. So they went under center a couple times. They put Davis under center. I thought was interesting, right? So we got some of what was promised, but this is still a work in progress, right? Like I just my positivity, Auburn Dad for life. I had no issue with positivity, none at all. No, I'm with you. Let's be as positive as possibly can be. But as far as
and I agree. But again, I think we knew that. I think we knew that about Tank and Worm being pretty much the strength of the offense until everything gets up to speed. Like I think we pretty much knew that we were going to be relying on them heavily. Yeah.
Listen, Ford Stokes, don't do this. Right.
Hey, let's wait. We got tomorrow. You can't cherry
pick stats. That's all I'm going to say. Right. The game is not just the first half. It's a whole game. So every snap that you take matters. Right. It was just very interesting.
We need to wrap this up though, guys. We're gonna get more into this stuff tomorrow. We want you guys to come back and join us tomorrow, but we're gonna need to get up out of here.
Yep. So again, before we jump, become an insider, $5.99. We appreciate each and every one of you so much for being a part of our community. Our GoFundMe is up. You can find this link in the About section of our YouTube channel, as well as a link to the merch store for you to get your weight up gear and then chop it up with a pro Chris Todd this Thursday. You don't want to miss that. Weekend tailgate coming at you at 2 p.m. Eastern tomorrow with some deep dive analysis.
Yes, sir.
Stay tuned for that. Stay tuned. We'll give our actual thoughts, even though we kind of already did.
No, we
got more more in depth, coming from a place of facts than emotions. As always, people, please like and subscribe to us on YouTube. If you're out there on these internet streets, be it Twitter and IG, it is at The War Rapport. Also, if you're on TikTok, you can find us at TW Rapport. Signing off. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday. And as always, War Eagle.
War Eagle.